Hello, my name is Enzel and I'm from Turkey.
And my name is Anto and I'm from France. So this is our video about the language body class, and first I'm going to talk about our goals at the beginning. So we wanted to learn general greetings in both languages, basic phrases like how are you, excuse me, sorry, etc. Of course numbers and alphabet because we didn't have the same alphabet. Animals, because they are fun, colors, food and how to order food.
And then after we finished our first initial beginning goals, we add more goals because we need to reach the time that we supposed to. So for our added goals, we had the basic grammar in both languages, like present tense, how to say like to be or to have or stuff. And then we had the traveling phrases because we both want to travel along, and we learned such as can you speak English, or where is the bathroom, or where is the restaurant where I can find something. And then we had our meetings about general culture or food culture as well, so we weren't going to be strangers if we ever travel. And also how to be polite and what is considered as a bad thing.
So we had meetings twice a week, 2 hours meeting, one in French and one in Turkish. We always met in Oscar Cafe because it was more convivial and we could do some breaks, etc.
And then in each meeting, we just sit down, think about which language we should discuss that meeting and which goal we should accomplish in the first time. And in each time, we just decide on a language because it's much more easy for us to concentrate on one language in each time. Yeah.
So about the French teaching, at first it was quite easy because it's just words and colors, etc. And actually there are some basic roots in common with Turkish and French. But when it came to the grammar part, it became really hard because I realized that French language has a lot of exceptions and it's really not easy for a beginner. So it was really a struggle to teach it, and I realized that I had every time before meeting to prepare the meeting with what I would teach, etc. Because if I just came here and tried to explain, I was struggling.
Yeah, and also teaching Turkish was in the pronunciation part, which was really hard for me to try to teach a pronunciation because we have different type of letters in our alphabet, and it's not exactly so similar to French or another language that he knows. So it was take time to make the pronunciation better, but it was normal because we have a really weird alphabets. But other than that, the general vocabulary, like hello and goodbyes were easy, and the numbers also kind of easy for him to learn. But the grammar part is because Turkish has a different type of grammar rules than English or French, and because they are also in the different type of language families, it was pretty hard in the beginning, but then after that he just gets used to it better. So then now he can make sentences in Turkish, which is in present tense, and also sometimes in the negative order as well.
Yeah, so about learning Turkish, for me at first the hardest part was the alphabet because there were many differences and also some traps, some letters were kind of the same but did not spell the same at all. So even after some meetings I still had to have the Turkish alphabet with me not to make mistakes, and I had to repeat and repeat myself. So it was kind of hard, but I think it's the thing that at the end I will remember the most, or at least the longer. Uh, about grammar, it was at first it seemed not so hard because it's really kind of a mathematic language. You put this word and you add this and you add this and it makes sense, but it takes a lot of things to remember, to make correct sentences. So yeah, it was. I think the fact that the both languages are basically really different made it really hard. But after sometimes I think I'm able to do some sentences or at least ask for some things in Turkish.
For the learning French part, I was like in the beginning, before like even starting the meetings, I was scared about like the pronunciation part because French has like a really hard R's and stuff. So I was scared that I will mispronounce something and it will mean completely different thing. Because I want to learn French before because of few of my relatives can speak really good French, and I was like interested in French. And then after like trying to research about it, I was scared about the pronunciation. But after the meetings, I just get like, oh, okay, he can understand me, so it's easier to learn more. But still, I have some problems with the pronunciation, or the last letter is not like silent somehow, but I'm not sure which ones. So it's like kind of weird for me to try to talk as well. But in the end, I think it's like now I can just go travel in France and like at least try a little bit like the basic vocabulary to communicate with people rather than just going in English.
I know about the feedback, so I think I'm really happy to have taken this class. Like, first because it was really flexible, so it's not something that you have to wake up like at 9 in the morning and you have to go. Like, if even like one day we had a meeting, but we really did not feel like doing it. It was not bad. We could do it the next day and could do it pretty late, and when it was like the best for us, so that was cool. Also, the fact that it was in a cool place with like you can like order coffee while doing the class. You can maybe eat a bit. So this was really fun, and also that we decided what we were learning. Like sometimes some things like we did not find interesting. We were just like, okay, we will do something else. So that was really cool. And also for me the best that maybe not to learn about the language but also the culture. Like we did this meeting about the food part and what food they eat in Turkish, and it was, for example, really interesting. And even with like politeness and everything, you learn like about the country and not only about the language. So that's something that I loved.
Yeah, also for me as well, it's the best part is being flexible because sometimes you just can't make it. And when you sit in a classroom with like an actual course and you have to listen to the teacher and have to learn the curriculum, which is like really weird for me because if I don't want to learn, for example, animals, I just don't want to do it. But I have to because eventually I have to take an exam in the end as well. But this course is like actually helped me to communicate with like a native person as well. And since we both like students in like similar ages, it's much more easy for us to communicate in a language. So it was a great course. So
Goodbye and thank you for the class.
yeah.